How are you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Your thoughts, your take. How did the offense look out there?
Well, it was exciting. You know, it's tough when you play against yourselves to evaluate. It's tough before you even watch the tape to evaluate. But from just a fan standpoint, I saw some good things. I saw a lot of energy. I saw guys competing, and it was fun the way we had the format. We made it a game. It wasn't a scrimmage, and guys were getting after it. And they truly wanted to win the game. So, as a coach, you like seeing the energy. You like seeing the guys' excitement and the passion on the sidelines, and I was happy with it.
Dylan Mitchell kind of had a coming out party today. Talk about Dylan.
Well, he's been good all spring, and you know, today is the first day where a lot of people saw how good he can be. You know, just an incredible kid. He's a great football player, but even a better person. For him to be able to function in a situation like today, as far as knowing our offense, he had to do a ton of work on his own. He's only been here for 3 months, so just real proud of him.
It looked like it was a bit of a wind-up. Like it took a little while for guys to get settled in. It took a little while for offense to really look like it was able to get going.
Sure, you know, that's a two-part thing. It's the defense is playing well. That's part of the. When the offense struggles, it's not always just because the offense doesn't execute, which we could have executed better. It's because the defense was playing pretty well. And then when you get in a game situation where there's actually crowd and there's the scenarios that it's just different than practice. The speed of the game, just the different distractions. Can you block things out? Can you focus and be assignment sound? And that's all stuff that we're playing a lot of young guys at young positions that we're going to get better at.
Looks like Travis and Dakota, once they got going a little bit, they both looked like they had their moments. You know, Dakota had a couple of really good throws in there too.
Sure, you know, I think they both did. Even Terry Wilson got in there and threw the ball well. Again, as a coach, you really can't analyze it until you watch the film. Because again, the coaches, we were treating this like a game. We were worried about the next call. We weren't sitting out there evaluating guys. We're like, well, how can we be successful and put our guys in position to win the football game, even though it was against ourselves. But you really can't, you know, give an accurate assessment until you go back and watch the tape.
Do you feel like you learned anything that you didn't see in the first 14 practices with a game-like situation?
Today, not really. You know, we've been scrimmaging like this, you know, throughout spring ball and putting guys in game-like situations. And, you know, for example, Dylan Mitchell, he made some plays today, but he's made plays all spring.
Right.
And, you know, our quarterbacks at times are really good, and at times they got to do some things better, and that's kind of been atypical all spring. Now they've all gotten better.
Right.
You know, and then the interiors where you really got to go back and dissect the film and see, you know, who played well. I don't, you know, from a fan standpoint, I thought Kenai Benoit ran the ball really well, and so did Tony James. But that's just being an armchair quarterback, looking at it from the sideline. But yeah, I was excited and love the energy, love what this game represents. Our kids really buy into how important it is to honor the military and what they do for us. And it's a neat deal. Those guys really take a lot of pride in showing those guys around here.
How do you feel like the quarterbacks handled that? The final drive for each quarterback in the game situation. I feel like they handled that
really well. Yeah, shoot. I mean, it was a neat. From a coaching standpoint, it's great to have situations like that.
Right.
You can't plan it, especially in a game situation. And for Travis to manage a 2-minute drill and have some poise and not panic and be aware of down and distance, and did a great job getting the ball in the end zone. And same with Dakota too. I mean, both those guys are doing a lot better job of knowing what the clock, where it is at all times, and being aware of down and distance, which, you know, we try to do a lot of situational type stuff to prepare them for that, but you can't do enough.
Right.
And it was good to see those guys felt comfortable in those situations today.
Earlier this week, you said you were going to decide if Fair Brown was going to get any time. What went into that decision of letting him play, and also what you'd like to see out of him after he had a couple catches?
Sure. I mean, well, at the end of the day, it's the medical staff's decision. You know, if they feel like we're not going to risk him getting hurt, then, or if he can't get any worse, then we'll play him. But it's also, we want to be smart. We did that not just with Farrell, we did that with Royce. If you notice, Royce never got a handoff. Anyone notice that? Okay, that was planned. We want to practice or protect our best players. And, you know, even Charles Nelson, he played a quarter. We wanted to be smart, but Farrell wanted to really play. And so we said, well, we'll give you a couple series, just for more so for him to have confidence. Say, hey, your rehab's going great, you're in a great position, and you know, it was exciting. It gives our team a boost when guys like that go in there and make plays.
Coach, how close do you think you are to establishing a depth chart quarterback?
Well, you know, the neat thing about fall camp's like 2 spring balls. So we feel like we have a ton of time. And because of the way we rep, you know, we get 140 live team reps every practice. That's a lot of reps. So both guys are going to get a ton of reps. And, you know, we feel really good. We feel we could actually have more depth than we've had. We've had some great quarterbacks here, but we could have more depth than we've had here in the past. And we still got to have it. But those guys are getting better each day. It's tough to say. Going into fall camp right now, I like where both guys. They've both gotten better, but we have some time to let it play out.
Okay.
How astonishing is this Farrell Brown comeback in your minds from where he was?
Yeah, it's amazing, especially when we were all there when the injury first happened, and just the initial prognosis was horrifying. I mean, it was scary. It was actually life-threatening. And then to go from, will he ever play football again? And then to go from, not only will he play, can he actually get back to where he was at? And then to have all those things fall in like clockwork, it's a miracle. And it's a tribute to our training staff and a tribute to his work ethic.
How big a bonus is that to add an all Pac-12 guy to what you already had come back? Maybe you didn't count on it until now.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, yeah, anytime a guy gets hurt, you got to go on to the next guy, so you can't count on a guy that's hurt. But when you get a guy like that, it just, not only does it make your whole offense better, it makes your whole football team better. Because they see the way he rehabs, they see his desire, they see his heart, and he's just, him, Royce, Charles, they're spark plugs. They affect our whole team. The way they prepare and when they make plays on the field, it's energy that's contagious.
There was a stretch there where Travis got sacked several times in a row. Was he making some mistakes in reads? Was it offensive line? Receivers? What was going on there?
Anytime a quarterback does get sacked, it's usually a combination of things, and obviously we never want that to happen. It'd be unfair for me to evaluate that until I watch the tape. Just seeing one time it looked like you got to know when to get rid of it. He could have got rid of it one time, but at the end of the day, it's usually a combination of things. Is the offensive line in the back on the right page, the receivers where they were just supposed to be. It's hard to say until I watch the tape.
Is the gap between Dakota and Travis in terms of just in-game savvy experience, is that pretty large considering that Dakota's actually played college football? Is that something that could really tip the scale in this case?
Sure. Well, Dakota definitely has more experience in live game football situations and played at a high level, and that helped Vernon. Vernon Adams, one of the reasons he was able to transition so fast to our offense and have success is he's been thrown to the fire. So what you worry about, in practice, we try to put them through as many situations as you can. A game's still different. When there's crowd noise, when there's adversity, when there's, just a lot of emotions going on, how can they be even keeled? Can they manage those situations? And so we're still finding that out. But yeah, just the obvious is he would be a little ahead there just because he's lived it and been in it.
When you're planning like your fall camp practices and what to work on with the quarterbacks, is it different with Dakota compared to Vernon because he's been here for the spring and he kind of already has an idea of what you guys want out of him and it's not the first time?
As far as managing all that stuff and practicing, they're all pretty even now. Dakota's starting to get, we have 90% of our offense in, and we're going to start trimming it down when we get into our first game. So I don't think there's a huge difference. I think they both know our expectations and what we expect from here on out. And the great thing about both of them, they're both self-starters.
Right.
So they want to get better. We're setting some parameters, but we expect them to go beyond those, and they both will do that.
I assume you were already asked
Thanks,
if you
Matt.
had to actually go get